about how you just made a pot shot at them, or how you basically just went to a person, or you made a point that, this point isn't good because it's just you insulting them, then they probably never bothered to pay attention to the video, and was more so focused on all the colorful language that you used. Oh no, this guy called the other guy a fucking idiot. Too bad, asswipe. Make like the internet meme and deal with it. Now, I understand if you're dealing with a kid as the subject, which in that case, why? Are you that devoid of material or something? And secondly, kids are a bit more sensitive to harshness, unlike, say, a teenager or a young adult is. Now, if you're making a video on a 20-year-old something, and they're acting like this, and I'm sorry, that's depressing, and they need to grow a pair. They went through childhood with butt spankings. I'm pretty sure they can handle being called a dipshit at the age of 20 without shitting their underwear about it. Chief Shadow asks, have you played any of the Jak and Daxter games? Yes, I've played all three, and they're all pretty great games. Even the second one, despite how hard it can be, is still a pretty solid title. What was the absolute worst DSP playthrough you watched? I don't watch the playthroughs. I watch the this is how you don't play videos like everyone else does. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3, that's quicksand. Make him stop! Was there a movie that you liked that others hated? If so, then what is it? Avengers Age of Ultron. I hear a lot of shit about the movie, saying it's not as good as the first Avengers, but honestly, I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum. I actually liked Age of Ultron more than the original. It had a better story to it, Hawkeye actually gets development, humor is still great, and overall, a lot of what the first Avengers did, I feel Age of Ultron did better, along with adding more into it. I mean, sure, I think Ultron would have been a better portrayal as a HAL 9000 kind of character. You know, more monotone and robotic. I mean, he'd be much creepier. However, the way they have him portrayed in the movie, at times it's pretty hard to take him as a serious villain. Where the hell is the love? I don't know. How about you come and get your love? Come and get your love. Come and get your love. Christopher Roberts asks, any plans on joining Spiffy Needle Geeks? That is not my call. That all depends if BJ wants me as an actual member of the group, and even then, I don't exactly have the means of recording footage for Let's Plays. The best I could offer was doing Smash 4 montages, and even then, that was under my own free will. That and BJ needed a guy who knew how to use Palutena and Ness and Smash, and, well, what better guy to go to than someone who makes them? I might consider doing a Pikachu one for the channel if BJ needs me to, but yeah, if BJ wants me to join the channel, then that's his call, not mine. I can't say on the matter. Do you believe Double S Animations and his fans/friends gang up on others for their opinions on the info found on it? You kid? There's living fucking proof of him and his fans doing that shit. Just search up his ED page, all the proof is there. In Smash, who's your waifu? Palutena, duh, but Lucina is close too. ClownDude98 asks, what is the best operating system? PC Master Race, that's what. Is it true that math is mental abuse to humans? When there's easier solutions to math problems compared to constantly borrowing numbers just to solve 2 plus 2, then yes, it is mental abuse to humans. Do you think optical formats are going the way of the dinosaur? I wasn't even aware of these things existed, so that should probably say something. Unless I'm just not that tech savvy. Thoughts on Slothboy494? I don't like him. His content is ugh. He fakes his opinions on shit just to get on people's good sides, which I think is terrible and makes you the worst kind of person. You shouldn't believe in something just so you can get people to like you. That's just petty as fuck. That and his voice to me is pretty annoying. Dark Nightmare asks, why don't we hang out anymore? I don't know why, but by all means, hit me up on Skype or Steam if I'm on. I don't mind chatting. Who is your most hated fictional character and why? You asked me to pick something from Bone, and really, I can't say there's characters in there that I can label as my most hated. I mean, the Vinian monks who were too stubborn to listen to the farmers, yeah, they were irritating, but nowhere near Donzo levels of fuck you and die. There's also Tarsal the Usurper, who was kind of a huge dick, but he ended up getting what he deserved, and not a single tear was shed. Thoughts on the cancer of the internet critic, I mean Mr. Enters Fantasy World, Isaldor. I am not aware of Isaldor, but I know for a fact about his series going around was terrible already. Shitty dialogue making the already boring characters more boring, not good setups for the story, bland locations, and I'm sorry, but a world where kids and grown-ups switch places? I'm pretty sure there's reality shows that do that, and it's more so of a what-if scenario, not exactly something you turn into an actual series of episodes. Thoughts on Naruto's ending and everything afterwards, such as Boruto and the last movie? I thought the ending was great. Well, yeah, I thought it had a bit too much fan service, such as the hinting of Rock Lee and Tenten getting together, Ino and Sai getting together, a lot of other stuff. But there's so many things within the ending that just made me so satisfied. Naruto and Hinata getting married, Kakashi and Guy having a good retirement, Konohamaru being a sensei, and, well, it was obvious to happen. It was still awesome to see Naruto become Hokage. I think the series ended on a great note, and watching Naruto express his feelings for Hinata in the last movie, all the squeeze. Boruto I have to get around to watching, but I do know Kishimoto has nothing to do with Boruto, but his assistants are working on it. As far as I know, Kishimoto is done with Naruto. DC the Lazy Mouse asks, what is your favorite and least favorite music genre? Favorite probably has to be orchestral. I'm just a sucker for a good violin, and not to mention I've yet to hear a bad score done in this genre. Least favorite has to be pop. Not for the music itself, but mostly the people who make up the genre. Either they have no musical taste, can't write lyrics for shit, are just horrible, egomaniacal people in general, or all the above. Thoughts on Corrin and Bayonetta in Smash? Get fucking nerfed, ass clowns! But really, as I said before, I don't hate Corrin and Bayonetta. I think they make fine additions to the roster. Although, I feel Bayonetta needs a bit more balancing to be done, just to make fighting her seem at least fair. Either that, or an easier way to tell the hitbox on the side B when it's held, because every time I think I'm out of the range of the thing, nope. Deacon Belly asks, what are your thoughts on animation as a whole? I enjoy it. It's a great way for artists to express themselves better than most live action can do. There's just some emotions that can't be captured on a camera unless you do some mad special effects stuff, but in the end, it'll probably look too awkward for live action, while in a drawing it looks more natural. I mean, just fucking look at Spawn. What is the best piece of animation that you have seen? There's a lot for me to choose from. I certainly like Mystery Skulls, there's the Super Mario Bros. Z reboot, Power Stars, what got me into Flash animation, and I also like a lot of fan-made anime animations. A lot of them are very well done. Yeah, I'd rather not bring up Disney or actual anime stuff because I feel that'd be a bit of an unfair comparison to internet animations, which I assume is what you're referring to. I mean, let's be real here. They're never going to be Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya levels of gorgeous animation or Hunchback of Notre Dame beautiful. What is the worst piece of animation that you've ever seen? Pretty much majority of shit that comes from the recolor community. Either it be poorly done MS Paint stop motion, or Flash animation that tries way too hard to look cool by plastering as many flashy effects as possible. Not to mention, a lot of the people behind these animations are just terrible people. I've already said my beef about people like Vicious and Tess. Akuma TH is as bad with animation as he is with webcomics. There's a list I could go through. If you were to create your own animated show / film, what would it be about? Well, I'm currently working on my own manga called The Rise to Superior, as a lot of people on this channel know about. So, you could consider that kind of my own work, and if it gets animated into its own show, probably based on what I did for the comic. I mean, there's also the Klonoa movie that's probably never going to come out in 69 years. DiCaprio DeLorean asks, who is your Smash 4 main? I actually have 3 that I consider my mains. There's Palutena, Ness, and Pikachu. I even made a montage on this channel specifically about them. Are you excited for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4 getting animated? Not entirely, since I don't keep up with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Elfin League Guy asks, explain the reasons you chose your mains in Smash and why you're such a fucking asshole with them. Palutena I chose as a main because, for one, she's my favorite character in Kid Icarus Uprising and is one of my favorite female characters of all time. And secondly, her moveset just fits the kind of playstyle I like. Lots of variety, adaptability, and outright trolling too. I've mained her since the 3DS version came out, and I still continue to main her today, and is still my favorite character in Smash 4. Ness I chose as a main because, like Palutena, is pretty versatile, and I can do more mix-ups with this character, such as PK Fire to down throw to fair, I can do dash attack to fair, or I can just fair to fair at the start. Plus, if I miss with an attack in the air, I can always quickly throw in a back air to confuse my opponent. Plus, charging into people combo with the PK Thunder is just so satisfying to do. It's never tiresome. Pikachu, because I really love his combo-heavy playstyle. It's very rewarding to combo with Pikachu, and his speed just fits right in. As for why I'm an asshole with them, well, I don't know. Maybe you should just get good. Favorite anime? I said years ago the Melancholies of Haruhi Suzumiya was my favorite anime series of all time, and it still currently is. The story writing is phenomenal stuff, characters are very likable, and honestly, I can relate a lot to what the characters feel, especially Killen and Haruhi's perspective on normal life, and why strange phenomenon should be a regular thing. Seriously, go check it out if you haven't, it's amazing stuff. Most painful person you've commentated on since your return to commentaries. Probably Mr. Enter, not just because of how much he's fallen as a content creator, but the fact that he now has such an arrogant light around him, it makes me question why people still watch him. The guy has no joy in his life whatsoever, so he just takes it out on shit just trying to have fun just because he can't find shit to feel enjoyment out of. Well, fuck you too if I feel like making fun of dumb people. I got funny shit to say. They're asking for it. I'ma do the thing. Oh, it's too cruel. It's unwarranted. It makes you a bully. My penis doesn't work! Aren't you glad Snake isn't back in Smash 4? Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you over the sound of my gimping you with Snake's box taunt. How's that salt taste, by the way? Forever Changing My Name asks, thoughts on Fire Emblem Awakening? It's a fantastic game. Love the characters, Lucina's best waifu in the game, gameplay is great and easy to get into, and goddamn the visuals and soundtrack are beautiful. Thoughts on Fire Emblem Fates? Have not played it, but it looks incredible. What exactly makes a character a Mary Sue / Gary Stu? Basically, a character with virtually no flaws, or they have flaws, but they're so minuscule and minor that they don't even matter in the long run. What's also considered a Mary Sue is a character who is liked by everyone, is never seen as doing something wrong, and is worshipped no matter what they do. The character could murder a child and they'd be praised because, oh, they just so happen to be a monster. Basically, a character without any real conflict or problems with them. The only exception to this is Saitama from One Punch Man, because Saitama beating everything in a single punch is the entire joke. But I'm more so talking about Double S animations, Akuma TH, or Testalionus levels of Mary Sue or Gary Stu. You know, characters who always end up being the good guy because of plot convenience. GamerXZ0 asks, if you could live in any fictional universe, where would it be and why? It's a hard question because if I were to live in a universe, I'd also have to deal with the hellish problems it may have, and a lot of them are worse than normal life. Although I'd probably pick Pokemon though, just because I'd love to raise my own team of monsters to fight other trainers. Plus, I'd love to have a real Greninja. And a Gardevoir. I would spoil the fuck out of my Gardevoir. Which fanbase do you dislike the most, if any, and for what reasons? The Smash fanbase. As much as I love the games in the competitive field, some of the people are fucking obnoxious, especially concerning the ballot. You ass cleaners complained about Wolf being a Fox clone in Brawl, so why are you complaining about him not returning? Oh, and Shantae didn't win. Boo-hoo. I want a Klonoa, yet you don't see me making petitions about it. I cried in a corner and contemplated suicide, yes, but not a fucking petition. DSP versus Shadvik. 2 stock, no items, final destination only. Who would win? I would, because I disrespect them both as Slamendorf and ended with a Gan inside. Only works online, though. Do you want to help me pummel the guys who made that stupid Ruby petition you showed me? Yes, please, and to anyone who signed that thing, you're all dumb and give me cancer.